welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts, Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, the next closest park. Ahoy!
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 Hello.
Look! How is everybody?
Pretty good, really.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, yeah. Okay, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. I might die, but it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow's field day, so
Ah.
we're like outside all day. Blah, no, yeah.
What's the weather supposed to be like?
I don't think it's supposed to be too bad. Like 70s. So definitely have had worse.
Not terrible.
field day.
I was going to say, for 70s, this in May, I'd take it.
It's been like weird. It's been like so humid, but also like cold for some reason. It's very strange. I don't really understand how it's both of those things at the same time. Like that's not normal. Like
No, it's been uncomfortably warm, but also very humid and hot.
But like yesterday was like actually cold. Like I don't know. It's real annoying. So I'm like trying to do all this laundry, like put away like my winter clothes and like my winter jackets and stuff, and I keep having to get them back out because it's like, oh, it's cold and rainy today. No.
Silly you trying to put away your winter clothes.
So I put away all but one. Ha! Take that.
Can't outsmart me.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie today. Yeah, when I was out, and same thing with yesterday because it was like it's chilly enough, but then as soon as you start moving or doing anything, it's like, oh no, I'm hot. But if I stand still,
it's
I'm
like
cold.
It's like muggy because it's also been raining every day. So that's cool. Love that.
No, yeah, and by love that we mean no. So what is what does your field day consist of?
Well, it's a bit of a mystery.
Oh, what?
Because our school is just one giant construction zone forever, I guess. Field day, and like they were gonna have it last Friday, but it rained all day. So this is rain makeup field day. Yeah. Well, actually, I think it was supposed to rain all day, and it rained like a little bit, but they'd already moved it, so like, but it rained like the days before, so it was like soggy everywhere. So it was the whole thing, but it's actually gonna be at the Monette Park. Yeah, so that'll be. I don't really know how field day is gonna go or what it's gonna consist of because it's not at school and it's a completely new location with a bunch of stuff that feels like it was just made up yesterday. Because it was. So I don't know.
Sounds like this is going to be the best field day ever.
Yeah, well, here's the other bonus part. Field day normally run by high school students, right? They like facilitate all the games and stuff, you know? Okay. But because it's at the park, no high schoolers.
Oh.
So there's that.
Because they're not being transported, I guess.
Yeah, they're not being transported. Because like normally they just work for a little bit and then they switch off, right? It's like just volunteers, you know? So like very rarely do they work like all day long. Some of them do, I guess, but like because they're still doing like some classes have a final tomorrow. Air quotes, final, right?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink. I mean, I don't really know how they're going to do a final because my grades were due today.
Oh, it doesn't. So it's not
really,
a real final.
Yeah, they're not real finals. They've already done the real finals. This is just like, here's a thing.
We have to do this.
Yeah, I think most classes have already done their real for real final. They just have to like call it that. It's weird, but so tomorrow is a mystery.
A mystery.
What's happening? No one knows.
Yeah.
So,
Aaron, do you have field days out in the magical land of Oklahoma?
They have. Is it called the land rush days? What's the big thing that they do in Oklahoma? Is that land rush?
Is that just reenacting? You just like
run across the field.
You just like put cookies on the ground and go, first to grab the cookie wins, go. Like
so a lot of the like elementary people do the it's like the land rush where it's something called that, where like the kids get like wagons and they make them all like covered and.
Bro, are you serious?
Yeah,
okay.
No, like it's to commemorate the the founding or whatever of Oklahoma, and they get little wagons and they just like take off in a big field, and they claim
this is so wonderful
band. No, seriously, I can't think of what it's called, but that is a pure elementary thing, because we in the middle school don't do anything like that. But I remember seeing all of the
like the little kids
stuff on like social media where it's like, oh my gosh, our kids participated in their last land run thing. I'm like, oh yeah, we do that.
All right, can we just pause here and take a moment to acknowledge what a weird thing it is that actually happened in history, right? Can we just acknowledge that is bizarre?
For our non-US listeners, or for those who aren't as aware of the late 1800s, 1880s.
Yeah, pop quiz, Aaron. What year was the Oklahoma Land Rush?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You heard it here first from a history teacher.
I bet Shelby knows like right off the top of her head, because they had to like, that was the answer to all the finals in elementary school. What year?
You think we pay attention to our stuff? You're silly. It's a big time event where literally there was a big starting line, and they just told people who wanted to grab land, like, hey, at this time, whenever the gun goes off, go and claim your spot. And so they just took off, and the people who left early were called Sooners to gain their plot of land, and they would go and stake out their claim. And everyone was just cool with it. Oh, except for, the Native Americans who were already here.
Yeah, that is the other part that people kind of forget to talk about. Like,
right. Yeah. The land was already claimed, right? That's a very important part of this story.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisy. 1889.
That's about right. Sure.
That's about right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I just want to read this Wikipedia article for our international friends, right? Because an estimate, this is 1889, okay? 1889, April 22nd. So like kind of hot, dusty Oklahoma morning. An estimated 50,000 people were lined up, right? And Aaron is not exaggerating. There literally was a starting line. They like shot off a gun and people just like took off, and wherever they stopped and said here, it was like a certain amount of acreage that they just owned now.
Yeah, that was their claim, and people would contend it, obviously. But yeah, if you're you just race somebody, be like, hey, this is my spot now. Like, darn, you put your flag up there before I did. Well, shucksy doodles. Okay. And then, then that would be your spot. And like, although I don't teach it, because you don't learn about Oklahoma history until freshman year. Like, I've had to help students and kind of like fill in for the spots, and I'm like trying to like read it out loud to kids. So like, yeah, this is a strange thing that happened in your history, by the way. And so, come here, cat. And then like, no images can do it justice, because it was such like a big deal. And there's like, oh yeah, here's thousands of people that just took off in wagons and horses or on foot, and it's just like a kid can't really comprehend that, because it's like, oh, here's a picture, moving on. And so I guess that's kind of why they do the little land grab thing with little kids, so they can see. But even like a class of 20 doesn't do justice of like the magnitude that had transpired during this time period.
This little blurb says, at 12 o'clock Monday, April 22nd, the population of Guthrie was 0. Before the end of the day, it was at least 10,000.
Yeah, I'm trying to put
what
some
on
of this,
earth is that?
So to put this into perspective, I've been doing listening, but I've also been doing some maths, so it's been dangerous. But at the time, 50,000 people was approximately 0.079% of the population. To put that into context, okay,
are you serious?
it's measurable, 0.079.
Wow.
So to put that into context, if the same percentage showed up for today of something, that would be 264,000 people. A population larger than Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's a lot of people. Wow.
Yeah, and so little kids just they get little wagons and they just like go out to some field. I know at Yale, my other school, they did that, and like I watched it for like the first time because I'm like, oh, this is what we do, okay. And then it's like, oh yeah, Oklahomans are weird because they did this, and it's just a weird thing to like to comprehend and to look at. They're like, yeah, this was a normal thing back in the 1800s.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy.
Now they do have typical track and field days, but those do not have the same. What's the word? Patriotic stirring as.
Oh yeah, people aren't as excited about just like running. They're like, but I'm not running to steal land from the natives, so I just really can't get behind it.
I just, for some reason, their quarter mile pace drops by double
a lot. It's crazy, you know. Like, oh man.
So it's so bizarre to me, but like trying to discuss little details like that, especially with like the kids that I have, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, this did happen. Ta-da. And they're like, oh, this actually was a real thing. Like we just thought it was something dumb that we had to do when we were in elementary school. I'm like, no, it was real. So you're welcome. Thanks, history. Yeah, but that's the extent. Middle school, we don't do anything fun. For our kids, except for I took them. What was that last week? Yeah, because we got done Friday. Took them roller skating and pizza. Where I had flashbacks of going to see Brandon. He was a young pup in high school and just eating CC's pizza constantly because that's what he knew what to do. Let's go see your brother. No, I see him all the time. Please no. I'm CC'd out, which is a statement I thought I'd never say.
That's hilarious.
But, yeah.
Brandon, did you survive your trip to the ice skating rink?
Yes, I did. Just barely.
Okay.
Because that was a day that was so incredibly humid. I thought I was just going to melt, right? I thought the bus ride was bad. Okay, so here's how humid it was in northern Arkansas.
How humid was it?
Okay, actually, wait. Before that, we did have a bit of a problem. So we do there, due to an old stipulation at school that says field trips must be educational in nature. I don't know if this is still true, but just to be safe, we do a little drive-by of Pea Ridge Battlefield on the way down to Springdale. And so we kind of like drive around the little loop, and I get to give a tour as the resident history teacher. I get to point out things like, oh, look, here's where they fought, and here's where blah, blah, blah. Here's the tavern, right? So, but they're doing construction, and so the road was all weird. And so we couldn't even go see the Elkhorn Tavern.
Oh, no.
Because we were not about to get out and walk because it was rainy. So, there's that. And now this was the sign because apparently all of Arkansas is under construction. We got down there and we're like, we always go and eat lunch at this park thing, right? My fellow teacher, she's been going there for like years, right? And we go down there, we rock up to the park, and there's no park, right? It's full of like backhoes and stuff. And so we're like,
What do now?
What are they doing? Are they like redoing the park? Is this park now closed? Where are we going to eat lunch? So we're driving a school bus down like the narrow side streets of Springdale, Arkansas, trying to wiggle our way to somewhere else. So I jumped on Google Maps and we found the next closest park.
Oh no.
And we went over there. They had a covered little pavilion thing with tables in it. So we're like, here we go. So we went over there. We ate our lunch there at this other park. It's like by the library is where we were at. So that was fun. But like on our way over there, I was like, all right, we got to turn left on this street. Street closed due to construction. Detour route this way. Like, oh my gosh, are you serious? What's happening?
Another left. Different left.
Another one.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of an adventure. But so we finally go down to the Jones Center, right? We're hanging out, walking. So it's so humid last Thursday that we go into the ice skating rink downstairs, and it's like you look across the rink, it's like foggy. Because the air is so humid right above it, and the ice it's ice, right? So it's like there's this very thin like mist inside the building.
Oh no.
Oh man. So that was good. But we did get all the kids survived skating with all their pieces intact, no broken heads or knees or wrists or anything. So that's good.
Good job.
And then after that, we went like to the swimming part, but the indoor pool room, oh my God, I thought I was going to die. Like it was so humid. In the indoor pool? No. Just no.
Was it a sauna-esque, I suppose? Oh man. Or if it was full-blown like sauna.
Billion degrees in there.
No.
It was so buggy. Like when we left, they had to go back to the little locker room thing and like change and other stuff. So I went and I stood all the way down at the end by the door. And there's like just to be like, the door is this way. Get out. But there was an air vent there. And so I just stood in one spot. Finally, moving air. The most beautiful thing.
A breeze. I never knew. I never
how
knew
exciting.
how much I love you.
I never knew this was what I needed in my life the whole time. So it was a little wonky, but we made it. We survived. We made it back. So we did it. This week has just been like get through, wrap up stuff, do things, clean up my classroom. We all know I'm not good at cleaning things. So
did you decide if you need to move your rocks?
Well, I just like nobody can give me an answer. So I just went ahead and did it anyway. Just like, okay, I'm just moving my stuff. I'm just packing it up. Basically, my room packing up consists of I have one of those big lab table in the back of my room, like with the black top and everything, and it's like attached to the floor, so it can't move. So my main cleaning strategy is I take my little milk crate things that they keep their binders in, and I just start stacking them on the table, and I just fill it with like the things that were on my desk and like stuff from over there, like the stuff that's just out that needs to go somewhere. And I basically stack it really high on the table, and then ta-da, we're done. That's where it goes. Gets out of the way. They don't have to move it because it's in a fixed position, right? So boom, it's fine. That's what. It's technically cheating, but I don't care. I'm not gonna.
It's something. I'm sure it's more than others. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah. Some teachers like take this stuff to their house over the summer. No. Yeah, that's not how this works.
Aaron, what does your end of the year ritual look like to tear down your room?
So this is actually kind of weird because it's actually the first time that I actually plan on staying somewhere. And so, because It sounds strange, but hear me out. The first year I got done teaching, that whole scenario. It's like, well, we actually don't want you coaching. Like, you literally brought me here to coach, so all right, do some out. And then last year, was kind of strange because I was like, I'm gonna go coach at a bigger school, and which I did, but like having to pack up all of my stuff and having that weird mixture of like being a former elementary teacher into middle school. Like I had way more stuff than I actually like originally planned. And so I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I'm gonna tone some things down. And so for this year, I had to consolidate greatly with a lot of my stuff. But for us, I'm kind of in that strange position, kind of along with Brandon, where it's like, hey, you might be moving classes because I'm in a weird corner where the special ed classes are all kind of like down there, and they're like, we're getting some interesting kids coming up, and we might need this. I'm like, all right, cool. You're gonna tell me when? And they're like, okay, get ready. And it's like, and so all I had to do was basically just do inventory on all of my stuff, get everything moderately prepared, and I just bulldozed it into a corner and just like, all right, boom, I have to move. My stuff's there. This is here. Holler if you need anything. And so the end of the year kind of meeting was, just turn in your list of if things are broken, which for me, my classroom was the oddball out because last year it was the like storage classroom. And so I didn't have time to actually like do the whole, hey, can you check or repair this? Because it was like, I didn't have keys until like the first week or like 2 days before school started. And so it's like, hey, can I get this? No, okay. And so literally the night before school was supposed to start, the two of the coaches and myself were like throwing things in my classroom. Like, oh, this goes here, and we need this, and look, I don't have time to see what I need and what's broken. And so for the whole year, like I had broken sockets, missing like ceiling tiles. And so I actually got to sit down with my principal and be like, hey, I didn't have a chance to get like any of this. And he's like, yeah, your classroom was the weird one. So yeah, just give me a list of the actual stuff that you need. I'm like, cool, here it is. Here's literally everything that I didn't have the entire year. And so it was actually kind of nice to sit down and be like, and I have this. They're like, sure. I'm like, oh. But it's actually kind of nice just to like throw my crap into the classroom, be like, all right, boom. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to move it yet. It's just gonna sit there until season starts. Cool. And so that was actually kind of nice for me for once to not like have to worry about like taking the car down there, turning in my keys, doing that routine check of like, did you turn in this yet? Did you turn in this set? Did you turn in this set? Okay, bye. So this was the first time that that may be something to change. I've had a few phone calls from schools about some head coaching jobs, but as of right now, it's just like I can just leave it there. I don't have to like cram like 4 large maps of like the world and flags like in my little office at home, or like all my Civil War textbooks. Nothing. Oh, cool. Okay, just gonna sit down there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like,
yeah,
it's packing up your classroom is really annoying.
Yeah, it sucks.
So I'm gonna be real mad when I do this and they're like, don't even get to the floors or anything this summer because again, my school is one giant construction zone and it's never ending. It's like Arkansas apparently, just always under construction. My school this year is like I-44, right? Just construction all the time, forever.
That's weird that they would have so many Merrimack Cavern advertisements in the
there. Yeah, they're just all over the lockers. It's so strange, right? It's just like Merrimack Caverns. Which way? What? What's going on? Where is it? I don't know.
That's wild. I will say I did not really like take this to effect or account until like I was significantly older. But like Wilson's Creek Battlefield, right?
Yes, been there.
Yeah, do you
It
guys,
is
like,
a thing.
Yeah, do you like what do you like specifically remember about?
Cannons.
Uh-huh.
General Lyon's grave. Spoilers: General Lyon, the Union general, dies at Wilson's Creek Battlefield. Confederate victory. But 7 months later, the Union wins at Pea Ridge Battlefield. That's the whole reason Pea Ridge happened. Sorry, I'm in tour guide mode. My bad.
Get a load of this guy.
I remember the farmhouse, right?
Uh-huh.
There's that farm that the dude was like farming in the army. He's like, you're a hospital now.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be about it. I have a very like specific memory because for one time for Boy Scouts, we did the cycling merit badge and we had to like cycle like X number of miles. And so we went to Wilson's Creek and just biked around the path, which started out as like happy fun time. But by the end, I was like, I might die. This is rough.
Dying and not happy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Megan and I actually went cycling there, and then the battery in my Jeep died there one time, so that's fun.
That's
all I know.
The reason I bring it up is that because we were talking about the Civil War in 8th grade, we pulled up like relatively close places to visit, like in Oklahoma, and I always made it the thing where it's like, all right, now kids, like, what side did Oklahoma fight for in the Civil War? And a lot of kids will be like, the South. I'm like, no, you nerds, it's not a state yet. Boom.
Oklahoma didn't exist. Slam.
Yeah. And nice. So, but then we kept pulling up Wilson's Creek Battlefield, and there's a picture on one of the websites, and it's that table that's inside the little guest.
Oh, with the lights that show you where they went.
Oh yeah.
So the kids were
that
like,
thing's dope.
What is this? And I went super nerd mode. Like it's like really cool because like got like these lights and like it moves, and there's like the announcer who's like super monotone, but he's like really cool, and like it like moves the things, and the kids were like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
no, yeah, it's like
real.
Yeah, like narrates the battle. Like it's like a thing, and it has like it's so listeners. It's like a diorama table, right? So it's like a 3D representation of the area, and it's got these lights, and it kind of it's like the battles, like the strategy, and it lights up like blue and red or whatever, and it like it'll be like, oh, and then they moved over here, blip. Right, and then the Confederate charge was here, blip. Like it sort of shows the battle thing on there, and like blue. So that thing's cool.
Yeah, and it shows you the how they moved over. Like it has the little light up lines that it like lights up to show the routes that they're going. And I mad respect to that, because making history come alive is incredibly difficult, and trying to get people to understand battlefield movements across a terrain, like impossible. So I thought that was always very well done when we went there.
Yeah. Oh, one more memory I just thought of. I was there for Cub Scouts one time, and I don't know, it must have been around Christmas, and I ended up on KY3 because I was in that farmer's house, and we were like going through it and touring it, and I was on KY3 as like a small child. Oh, it's a place to be, suckers. That's what's up.
See if we can dig that up.
Yeah, very old archival news footage of me in a Cub Scout uniform at the house at Wilson's Creek National Battlefield in Republic.
Surely it still exists.
I mean, somewhere it does.
Oh yeah,
I'm in like I'm in a vault somewhere.
Contact KY3. They must know.
Boom, Lisa. Yo, what's up? We gonna.
I just thought that part was fascinating, because I never really like going there and like I think I watched like them do. They were setting up for.
We did go to a reenactment once.
Yes. That was out there. Yep.
There was like tents everywhere. It was real hot because Wilson's the battle was in like August or something, right?
Yeah.
It was hot.
Yeah, and the foundation puts that on every year.
Maybe before August.
Yeah.
But it was in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
So it was a hot.
Yep. And everyone out there in their wool uniforms.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for the history lesson. Don't die of heat stroke.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. But I just thought that was neat. Brandon said, historical sites, and I was like, oh yeah, Wilson Creek Battlefield. It's a literal historical site that I never, and not that like, I didn't appreciate it when I was younger, but it was just something that I was like, wait, we're going to where? Oh, is that the place with the cool table? Heck yeah, let's go.
Well, it's sometimes hard to appreciate that when you're real young because you're like, it's a field. Yeah, August 10th, 1861. Boom, look at that. It's just like, because now it's like a field. And so it's kind of like, okay, cool. I mean, that's probably why mom and dad took us to the reenactment-y thing, because like all the tents and all the dudes out there and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Lots of harmonica playing, I think. It just tends to happen at these things. Like
can't escape
casual side effect of reenacting.
Yeah, it's like if you want to know what the 80s and 90s were like, go and stand next to some secondhand smoke. If you want to know what it was like during the Civil War, go listen to some harmonicas playing. Right?
I had a neighbor who used to live over here that was a Civil War reenactor. Like he had the whole kit. Right. He actually did the march when they reenacted the march from like down here in like southern Missouri to Wilson's Creek a while ago. He was a part of that. It was like, I don't know when it was. It was a long time ago, but he did it. He was like part of the thing. I was like, oh my gosh, why? He had all the stuff. He had like a billion books and like he was way into it, like maps and like all kinds of stuff, right? Because if there's one thing that I know, it's people that are into the Civil War. Like, there's not a lot of like casual Civil War enthusiasts, right? Like, if you are a person that's like into the American Civil War, these people go all in. Like, they all end up being reenactors, right? It's just how it works. Right? They have a box under their bed full of wool uniforms. They have like muskets in their closet. It's real, like, whoa, what?
I will say that the movie Gettysburg, like the 4-hour long movie. So that movie was actually shot like 99% or like 90% of the people were like volunteers or like Civil War reenactors that would like they would show up to set and be like, hey, do you need a cannon? Because I have one. And they're like, yes, please, go stand over there.
Yeah,
and
what other group of people casually has cannons in their garage? Like, come on.
Yeah, and what a budget saver for the producers of the show. Like, oh, we don't need to do any sort of budget for costumes sourcing. We'll just put out a call, and they have to respond. It's in their blood, right? They will say yes.
They already have them, and they're already period correct and 100% accurate because they know.
Yeah,
because they know. And if and they'll show up because they know if they don't, we'll do it ourselves, and we'll mess something up, and we'll get a button wrong, and then we'll never hear about it, and they won't be able to sleep at night.
Ruin it for them forever.
So involving them actually makes everybody happy. An actual conversation from the boardroom, in case you're wondering.
Probably, yeah, it's probably accurate.
I saw the thing on YouTube about it, the history buff, and he kind of breaks down like historical movies, and he did that. He's like, yeah, it's crazy because like, oh no, we need to save money, and like thousands of people just showed up and like, hey, I have a cannon. You need a cannon? I have like 4. Like, yes, please. So that was kind of neat.
Who does that? Who has cannons just sitting around? Like,
you know.
Strange segue. But
our specialty,
as it turns out.
So, I actually have things to talk about. I know, shocker. Where'd he go? So, Get
He wrote it down?
this.
What is this?
Who are you?
What's going on?
So, Governor Stint, the governor of Oklahoma, who I'm not necessarily a big fan of, actually came in clutch for something for once. Oklahoma is actually getting $600 million investment into public education.
Wow.
So,
That's a big number.
so I'm looking at the thing. So, do what, Cal?
Look, not to take away from that, I was hoping it was an announcement about Sasquatch hunting, but I am still interested in the story, so just keep going.
Still legal in the state of Oklahoma. So,
See, that's what I was hoping they'd change.
500 million will be directly into the educating funding formula, which I don't know what that means, which includes 6 weeks paid maternity leave. Boom. Where is it at? Teacher pay raises. $3,000 for teachers with 0 to 4 years experience. So me. $4,000 for teachers 5 to 9. $5,000 for teachers 10 to 15, and $6,000 for teachers for 15 years or more. Additional $10 million into 3-year literacy program because Oklahoma can't spell. $125 million to the Red Bud Foundation. No idea what that is. And then an additional $150 million into 3-year pilot program for school safety and security. So, yeah, that's the first time that our school has had anything added to it since the teacher walkout in whatever year that was.
A few
years ago. But yeah, that came across. That came across my desk a few days ago, and I was like, "Oh, when is this going to be activated?" Like, it was going to be activated like in the fall. So when the school year starts for this next year, boom, we're actually going to be making more in Oklahoma.
Get on it, Missouri! Come on.
And I'm sure that there was no fight or struggle with getting that passed, and it was super easy, and everyone agreed.
Yes, no fighting with any Native Americans or oil companies, and everybody was happy with it. And we're not looking into it any further. We're getting money. That's all that matters. This is the same guy that like ticked off every Native American tribe in the state of Oklahoma, because he's like, "Oh, Native Americans aren't doing their part." It's like, Kevin, what do you mean? Get up! What? They're literally doing their part. Like, oh no, they could be doing more. Like, they're literally funding the state of Oklahoma. Quit talking. So that guy actually doing things for teachers, because yes, a few years ago teachers did get a raise. However, it was just like a one-time deal, and it like wasn't like consistent or like followed through with anything. And so the sheer fact that they're like, "Oh hey, yeah, by the way, boom, we're going to give you actually stuff you need," and then not including like supplies and everything, but the sheer fact that everyone's like, "Oh hey, we're doing this," and it's actually going to be sustainable for a long time. It's actually kind of nice. So,
well, huzzah! That's very exciting, indeed. Look at this good news you bring. Look at that.
Oh, well, thank you, Oklahoma, for doing something good for once. I appreciate it. Now I say that, and then of course we'll be like, "Oh, we need not talk about, what's a good example? Like something that's really dumb. Like, no, wait, Oklahoma, we did so good."
Yeah, we best stop talking about it lest they do something even worse. So
yeah, which is very, very common for Oklahomans. So, but yeah, I just thought that was neat. We're actually getting appreciated for once, and we're getting money. So I will not complain about money.
Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. Well, I don't have.
That's all I got on my corner. So.
Oh, I mean, that's a big deal. I don't have nearly anything remotely as exciting as $600 million at all. So, no, I've been doing phone interviews and all sorts of things, trying to hire people. Let me see here. Not a whole lot of change on that front. We're still kind of pushing forward with a couple different candidates and trying to get people onboarded and trained and everything. We did have our first, our shortest stint of an employee literally ever this past Monday.
Oh no, not a great record to have.
No, it was not. It was not indeed. She started on Monday. First email went out at like 9, and by 1 o'clock I got the resignation. So really good stuff. Really great stuff. What? Apparently there was a pending, like, this is the state of hiring. People apply to everything. They accept more than one offer and see which one they can end up liking fastest. And so they had accepted our offer.
It's like when you buy a shirt.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was thinking it's like when people buy clothes online and they're like, I'm going to buy 8 things. And they're like, okay, I'm going to send 7 back because I only want this one. Boom. That's what I'm doing.
Amazon literally has that feature where you don't pay unless you keep it, right? Like they have that feature. So yes, you just go, I don't know, but I'm not invested in this. There's nothing to lose if I don't like this. So yeah, they had accepted our offer, agreed to start, knowing full well that there was this other one that they were more interested in that was like a maybe. And so that one came through and they let us know. So that was a lot of fun. And you know, it's like at this point it's like, you know what? It's not really surprising anymore, but like that's what we're doing and trying to move through. So it's one of those things like, okay, well, you know, just live and learn and keep moving forward. I did have yesterday, Brandon, you had said it was so cold. Well, I was walking this dog and I was along the grass. I saw it and I was like, wow, that is a big pile of poop. My dog didn't do that when I was walking. I should go ahead and just clean that up. I'll be a nice person. I bent down to pick it up and it blinked at me. And I recoiled in horror to find that it was in fact one of the largest bullfrogs I had ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
I was so I will
that
show.
Is a terrifying surprise.
And
where's the picture?
It's coming. The reason it had not hopped away was because it was so cold. The day before, it was like 94. And then overnight, it dipped down into the 50s. And the frog was like, oh no, I cannot go on. And so it was just hanging out and not very lively. And so I think my message just came through. Let me know if that comes through or not.
Good grief! That
it's huge.
Even the dog is like, "What the heck is that?
What is going on?" Yeah. So I of course, in my update, I had to say that we got to meet a celebrity on the walk. We got to meet Kermit the Frog, and that it was not.
So I will say that there's a sport in the South that does like the frog jumping, and that would be a perfect candidate for frog hopping. So, Collin, good job.
Okay, I will add that to my list of sports to enter. I did that. That was my highlight yesterday, getting to see this giant frog, and I was like, can I take this frog home? Like, what? Where to put this frog?
Megan would love it.
Oh yes, she would be so enthusiastic.
Yes, that would be exactly what
go put it in Dad's pond, right?
Oh,
like, Dad, I brought you a friend. Yeah.
to put into your suspiciously angular pond now.
That
Come on.
was a bit suspicious. He spent too much time in Oklahoma. I don't really know what that's about.
Rubbed off him already. His pond was influenced. Yeah. Unfortunate.
I saw that. It's like, sweet pond.
I know. And it was like the natural shape of ponds. Square.
What is square? Of course.
What else are you supposed to make a pond out of?
What is the bucket is angular. You can't scoop a circle with a square bucket. Everyone knows.
I mean, I think you can. I think this is mathematically possible, right? Like,
anyway. Yeah, just infinitesimally smaller, close together.
I mean, that's what you do, right? That's what you can approach a circle if you like continually add sides to a polyhedron, right? So if you have like a square, a pentagon, a sexagon, a septagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, right? They just get progressively more circular, right? The more sides you add, the closer it approaches to a circle.
Yes, and and obviously all bucket operators, an excavator, or people are trained in this method of just
they all took trigonometry clearly and geometry, so they know.
Oh no, they're supposed to take the second year.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's been a ton of rain here. I got to take the kids down into one of the ravines by Dad's house and show them the streams that run through. And got to talk about the difference between perennial and annual streams.
This is an El Nino stream, right? I feel like that's what this is. What's up, man? Tell you.
It is for sure. So we got to show them that and showed them on a map and kind of like, hey, this is the start of a river, which was kind of neat, and talk about how all the rocks that are here are going to end up down,
in the Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf of Mexico.
That's where they're going, baby.
Yes, all the way. So that was a lot of fun to get to see that and just see the immense amount of rain that are in the area, and rescue a few turtles. And sliders are all over the place, so stopping and moving them across the road is necessary as long as it's safe and you're on an abandoned country road, and it's not nighttime.
Yes, please, yes. Your high-vis jacket on, right? Our European listeners are going, well, if you had your high-vis visibility jacket, everything would be fine. So it's
and as we know, in France, it's mandatory to have one in your car at all times.
Mandatory. It's actually illegal to get if you stop on the side of the road and you don't put it on. You can be fine.
Look at
if
us.
you exit your vehicle.
Things we know randomly. And then
this has been French Facts with O Brother.
Fast French Facts. Oh my goodness. That was a great segment. We should do more of that.
Yes.
And then I took a phone call from a potential client today. It's always great when I can immediately know that this person has run out of options and they are talking to me.
It's not a good start to the interview, right? Like,
I love that feeling.
Help me.
Boy, howdy.
You're my only hope, right? Like, that's not a good.
It really is. It's like, call me Obi-Wan because I'm your only hope. Yeah, it's exactly.
Help me, Funky Bunch. You're my only hope.
It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway,
new T-shirt design coming soon, ladies and gentlemen.
The waffling on this was amazing. Amazing. First it was, the dog is dog reactive, human reactive. They've never left it alone before. It cowers. She's worried about it biting. Not sure how this is going to work. And then it was, well, it's not so bad. And, they've had a friend take care of it before. And, it would probably be fine.
That code for she realized she told this person, I don't know if she agreed, but they told you like the whole truth immediately. Like, it's not as bad as it sounds though. Like,
exactly.
I don't want you to like really worry. I mean, you're a professional. Like,
right. I'm sure you can handle this. Right. Yeah. So
no.
I asked some questions and was like, and when are you needing this? And then basically they needed us to start a 4-day trip in 2 days. So they needed us
of course.
I was like, yeah, okay, well, first off, like, no, like we can do a meet and greet, but that's probably not going to work out. We don't have availability really, and so if we do a meet and greet, it would be for future services, like if you still want to move forward. And that was this morning, and then like 8 hours later, 8 hours later, they scheduled the meet and greet, and then all the care information forms, it was like, the sweetest dog ever, like no problems, like
Stop lying to me.
little bit of anxiety. And I was like, I talked to you this morning.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah, I was like, I talked to you this morning. Like, I know who you are. Like, what are you doing?
You can't trick me. I know.
I write down phone numbers and I write notes about you whenever I'm talking to you on the phone, so I can cross-reference this stuff for later. And so we turned that down. We were like, look, like, no, it's not good. Maybe if we had
It's
a couple
not you,
weeks
it's me
to work, but it's mostly you.
It's actually a dog, though. That's the thing I'm waiting for. Like, it's actually a horse.
It was a bullfrog.
Surprise.
It was the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County.
Lost a bullfrog. Have you seen it? Oh no. Oh. I get so many phone calls from people who have unexpectedly recovered a stray dog and then realized, oh, I actually can't do anything with this dog. I was just trying to be a nice person and then put it in my garage, and now it's been there for 6.5 hours and nobody's coming to get it. I don't know what to do, and all the pounds are full. This happens so much. And so I have to, talk to them, give them some advice and some Facebook groups to post in, and then say, yeah, I mean, you took the dog on, and unless you want to re-release it, you have to see this one through. Like, champ, like, you gotta see it through. And then I send them a PDF full of rescue phone numbers from all across the state and say, good luck. I can't help you. Like, we're not doing this. But it's really sad when that happens, because people have the best intentions, because they go, oh, a lost dog. Yeah. The owner will be looking for this. This will only be merely a trifle of my time. And then no.
Turns out it's not lost. It's just abandoned.
It was abandoned. Yes.
Yeah. And oops.
Yeah. You're like, well, here are your options, and several of them are like 5.5 hours away. So have fun, right? Like that's what you're dealing with at that point.
Yeah, basically, yes. So, yeah, it is unfortunate though, because it's like a hard situation, because you want to do like the right thing and you want to be like helpful and stuff, but at the same time, like, well, it's not really. It's not going well.
I have been in this exact position, right? It ended with me needing to drive an hour and a half one way to do a dog transfer on the side of the road. Like, we have done this, so like I feel people's pain. Like, I totally get it, but it's like that's what you're going to have to do, right? Like, you're in the drop everything, try and get this taken care of moment right now, and trying to get people to understand exactly, like, they have committed, whether they realize it or not. Like,
you're in there now, buddy. Like,
good luck.
Yeah, this is it. This is all. That's all she wrote. Like,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, the unfortunate side of dog rescue. So,
yeah, it's true.
I'm happy. Has anybody been reading, watching, listening to anything interesting these days?
I'm still watching old Top Gear episodes and other related things, right? I'm getting my summer reading list in order, right? That's kind of what I'm doing, kind of deciding what I'm going to be reading here.
Okay.
Kind of going through my little stash of books here and going, what do I want to do? What is my plan? That, and of course, BattleBots is still happening. So, that's what we're in the finals now, man. The bracket has started. Very exciting. Susan is just super thrilled. Obviously, she just sits there and goes, like, that's what it is.
Hey, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It is input.
It is input, right? So yeah, I've been doing that. I was thinking earlier, right? Did you have a place you were going with this? By the way, was this like did you have a thing here? Were you leading to something?
Oh, I was talking and I was on mute, so they'll have to edit that.
I noticed that.
I was saying things. I was like, nobody's responding. What is going? This was not a segue, but
okay, all right. I was gonna go off of some tangent.
Is it a segue?
It might be. Might be.
Okay.
Because
then you're welcome.
Yeah. So yes, I know what you're talking about. So I did have another quite tangent. I was thinking about this today, right? And I have this like weird relationship with certain genres of books, and I was thinking today, like, I don't really know why. Like, when I was younger, I think we've talked about this a little bit before. Like, I used to read a lot of fantasy novels, right? And then, like, now I really struggle with it, right? I read, like, Game of Thrones and I read, like, Tolkien stuff, right? But, like, outside of that, my fantasy reading has shrunk dramatically. And I think there's a reason. Why? Right? Here's my thought. Okay. And I'm about to anger half the internet here, so just get ready for it. Here's hot takes with Brandon. Fantasy novel book covers are kind of trash. They're just not good. They're not interesting. A lot of them look like they're just straight out of 1987, right? Which is just like,
yeah.
There's nothing about a lot of fantasy book covers that makes me go, oh, I want to read that. Like, it's not exciting. They're like very generic, right? Like, they're not like, oh man, what's that? Like, there's nothing because I'm a browser, right? I am this is how I find books. I browse. Like, I look, I go to bookstores, I wander around, I look through the shelves, right? I just like browsing, right? It's my thing, which is why I like buying books online. It's very difficult for me because the browsing aspect is gone. Because if you click on one book, it's just like suggests to you like 50 other books like that one, and your browsing is just it's disappeared, right? Yeah. But like fantasy books, all the covers are the same, right? It's just like boring. It's like a weird person with some strange background behind them, like menacing, or like just like generic text with an object in the center, right? Like even the Game of Thrones book is like this one now with a sword. Like, wow. Cool. Like, what? How riveting. Just really want, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing cool about it. Yeah. And I'm blaming book covers for my lack of enthusiasm about a whole genre.
I will say this is book covers are hard. They're very difficult. I will let's give them that. But when you have content like, I don't know, an entire fantasy novel, you'd think there would be some aspect that they could pull from it to make it more original. Because I'm thinking also of just book covers in general, of just how annoying they are.
There are a lot of bad ones out there, right?
There's so many bad ones, and it because they go, I don't know, here's one thing from this book, and that's what I'm going to try and promote, without trying to capture more of it than that or grab people's attention, and they fall into those tropes way too easily.
Yeah, they really do, and it's like, I just can't. Like, I don't know. There's something about the cover design that's very off. It's like almost off-putting to me. Like, I don't want to read that. Like, it's so bad. Like, I don't even want to look at that book. So, like, why would I want to open it and read it?
So you heard it here first, people. Brandon literally judging the book by its cover.
I mean, that's how browsing works. You got to look at the cover and then you pick it up. You have to have something that makes you want to read it.
Yeah, that's
right? And also, a lot of the titles are really not very exciting either. It's like,
oh no,
something blood prints, like all of them, or like, you know, like. It's just
I definitely can, you know, understand Brandon's take with that, because it's like if the cover doesn't get you and like you flip over the back to read like understanding, if it's anything like the blood prints of Ood and you're like, oh come on, or if it's anything that like just throws names out there to try to like lure you in with like, well, look at this high fantasy and it's like Gunther in the world of Ood. I'm like, man, I don't want to have to like look up like fan Wikipedia to figure out like what that is. Like that's what got me with Dune. Everyone's like, oh, you should read Dune, like with sci-fi. I'm like, oh, let's read Dune. And then like if you look at the back here, set on the desert planet of Arrakis, Dune is the story of a boy, Paul Atreides, who becomes the Maud Hadib. And you're like, what is that? What does that mean? Like great family ambition, blah blah blah. And then it's like the family of the High Emperor. Like, man, don't have me more look up people that I don't know who they are before I started reading the book. Like, stop it.
Yeah, right. Like it's just I agree with Aaron, right? You gotta get it, there has to be something to hook you, right? And sometimes it's the cover. And then you pick it up and then you read the back and then you do this and then you do that. But if you're just like, if you just browse like randomly if you just like Google like fantasy books and you get like a list of like the newest ones or whatever, it's just like you'll see the word bones, you'll see the word ranger, you'll see the word blood like 80,000 times. And it's like there's no discernible difference in any of these books just by looking at them, right? And when you get into them and you read them, obviously there's going to be differences, right? But when you're just looking at them, you're like, how do I pick one of these? They all look the same. So sorry to anger all of our fantasy fans here. Oh, the word lone is also in like tons of them.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, because it has to be the singular, right? The singular person, whether that's salvation or like the last remaining or, you know, etc.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
Okay.
There's that.
What has sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say I do have something that I watched though. I have random film review time with Brandon. I figured this is where you were segueing me to because I told you about this a while ago.
Oh,
so
I forgot, but
I thought you remembered. All right. Anyway, Aaron, I have watched a movie just randomly because I had nothing to do, so I was like, I'm going to watch this. Now, unlike my other, this is separate from Fugue State movie review corner where I remember nothing about the movie. Right? I had a vague memory of this. Right? Had a vague memory of this movie.
Vague movie review corner.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember the general idea of this movie, right? Like, I kind of understood that, right? And so I was just like, but I was sitting there thinking about, like, why did I watch this movie? So I watched this movie in sophomore English class. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Right?
No.
Other than the only thing I can really tie together here is that Mr. Himes was a film dude, right? And so like that might be tangentially related to why I watched this, right? But I have watched the 1997 neo-noir, The Spanish Prisoner. Dun, dun, dun. Right now. This is like a movie about like a con. Okay. But unlike a movie like The Sting, where the protagonist is the person doing the con, in this movie, spoilers for 1997's The Spanish Prisoner, the protagonist is the person being conned, right? Whoa. So all of the twists and turns come from the revelations that, reality is like not what it was, right? Or not what it seemed like. So this movie's weird. And I didn't know this until after I watched it. And then I kind of looked up some stuff about it to try to figure out because this movie has a pretty high score on stuff. And so the director is this dude called David Mamet. And apparently he has this big cult following about stuff. He's done not a lot, but he's done several movies, and he's people like him. He praised for his writing. Okay. Now this is important because I don't know why. I've never seen any of the other movies that he wrote and directed. I have seen some other movies that he just was a writer on. So he wrote he was a writer on 1981's The Postman Always Rings Twice. He was a writer on The Untouchables. He was a writer on Wag the Dog, right? He was a writer on Ronin. I think I've seen parts of Ronin. I'm not really sure. But he wasn't the director. So he was just a writer. So out of a bunch. But he's apparently praised for his dialogue, right? The dialogue writing of this dude is apparently really great. And I say apparently really great because after you watch this movie, or after you watch The Spanish Prisoner, at least, you go, why? It's not good. Right? And you can tell you can tell they're going for that neo-noir thing where everybody's kind of weary, but it's not a snappy dialogue, right? It's not a Raymond Chandler, right? It's not it's right. Humphrey Bogart would deliver these lines badly. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Such classic lines. The dude meets this lady and she's like, if you ever want somebody to cook you dinner or dinner and breakfast, just give me a call. And this is supposed to be peak writing. And I'm just what on earth? What is it?
Very confusing.
It's very confusing.
Oh. What?
Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. It's so weird. I don't really get it after viewing one of his movies. I don't really understand the why everybody likes it so much, but so there's that little elephant in the room. This movie does contain luminaries such as the protagonist is a guy named Campbell Scott, who I'd seen before, mostly because he plays a dude called Boris in that one. Oh crap! I can't remember the name of the TV show now. But anyway, Royal Pains, a TV show about a doctor in the Hamptons. That was a good show. But apparently he's George C. Scott's son. Who knew? And the main antagonist of this movie is one Steve Martin. So this movie is notable in that it is Steve Martin in a serious role.
Oh. How does Steve Martin pull that off?
It's not bad, right? It is pretty good. He's still, because he's the guy that's conning the other dude. So he's kind of fast talking, so he kind of plays into that part. But it is more of a serious thing, right? So the other part of this movie that drives me insane that I did not remember is it feels it feels like when they were writing the script, they put brackets that said insert here, and then they just never took it out, right?
Oh,
because so the main plot here is that the other confusing bit is the main character's name is Joe, okay, and then Steve Martin's character's name is Jimmy. So that's annoying. But so Joe is like a math guy. He works for the company and he invents the process. This is all the information you get in this movie.
Neat.
What is the process? Apparently, something that will make the company a lot of money.
Wow, what a premise.
Yeah. And because this is the 90s still, right? They're gonna beat the Japanese in the market.
The market. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know what this means.
Oh.
And so it's really hard to like follow along and like be invested in the story when they're just like the process. They just keep talking about the process. Or he works at my company or the company. He literally says the company. Like you couldn't even like come up with a fake name. Like,
oh, jeez.
Fisher Enterprises. I don't know. Like, something. Just
Manufacturing Inc. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know, what's you could just be like 7th Street Corporate Solutions. Boom, there's a company name right there. Got
Even
it.
better. I was looking at the trailer for this, and I noticed it also has one Ricky Jay in here.
Yeah,
which was weird. I was like, he's in a lot of weird roles too.
There's a lot of people in this movie that you're just like, oh, that guy, right? Like, it's one of those movies. It's the oh, that guy, right? Like that's the movie. It's that movie. Like it's a late 90s movie. So a lot of times just like, oh yeah, him, or oh yeah, it's her. And you don't know why you know them, but like you do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a movie about like Jimmy, Steve Martin, is like they like meet, just casually at this company retreat in the Bahamas because they went on a company meeting in the Bahamas for some reason. I don't really understand that. But they just like happened to meet on the beach, and then they like strike up a friendship and all this stuff. And like just these like little things casually happen. And then it turns out Jimmy is a con man and he wants to steal the process. And so Joe gets wise to it and he calls the FBI. And then, oh no, it's a fake FBI agent. Like, get that. Oh my gosh. It's like, so it's like unraveling this, like Jimmy's reality is like, or Joe, sorry. See, I got confused again. Joe's reality is like not what he thinks it is, right? He's like trusted too many people and, he's got to discern what's going on and all this stuff, right? Who is on his side, really? Right? Spoilers. Okay. Turns out nobody. That's what. It's so lame. Like, it's almost like too much, right? Like, it's almost like it's like keeps being reveals. Like, it's not like Jimmy's not real. This apartment's not real.
Oh,
like,
jeez. Yeah.
The FBI is not real. Like, okay, I get it. It's like elaborate, but I don't. I understand why.
No, we understood.
Yeah. So it's it's fine. He slowly sort of like unravels the situation and starts to deduce what's going on, and then like, but the end is still like saved happenstantially via some joke that was told earlier in the movie, right? It's like what?
No, that was the payoff. It was the payoff you knew.
It was the payoff. It was the payoff for that one throwaway line in the middle of the movie somewhere. Yes. Is the end. Blam. I remember that part for the movie, right? So like, okay, spoiler territory for a movie from 1997. You've been warned. All right. So somewhere in the middle of the movie, Steve Martin and the guy, Joe, are like going around town, and Steve Martin's like schmoozing him up because he's pretending to be like a rich dude, rich businessy guy, right? And he says something about like, he has some throwaway line about Japanese tourists being everywhere, right? And so the end of the movie, they're on this boat, this ferry, trying to get out, from this place because it turns out he's been double crossed by everybody, and Steve Martin's there and whatever. And the Steve Martin has a gun and he's gonna kill him and steal the process and sell it and whatever and all this stuff. And this lady just like whips a tranquilizer gun out of her bag and shoots Steve Martin. And she's like this Japanese lady, but she's working with like the FBI. And the other dude comes up, he's like, see, no one pays attention to Japanese tourists. Got him. Like, what? What?
Oh,
wow. That's the only part I remembered from the movie. Like, I remember that part when it happened. I was like, oh, yeah, this is weird. It's like, it's a pretty solid concept for a movie, right? Yeah. But it is a little too, again, it's 1997 so like, it's pretty extra, right? The acting is a little much, with the delivery of some of the stuff. Like, it feels very late 90s, in like not the best way. Right? Not in a good way. Not as whereas like 10 Things I Hate About You feels very 90s in like the best ways.
Every possible way, yeah.
Spanish Prisoner, kind of all the not great ways, right? Like all this. I didn't like it. So sorry for all those 89% of viewers who voted that it was good on Rotten Tomatoes. I wonder how many people actually voted. Actually, I should look at that real quick. Oh yeah. See, only 60 reviews. See, that's no good. That's not.
You can't even get it. No.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But yeah, so I watched that. That was just randomly. I was very bored, and so I was like, "Oh, I should do that." So I watched that. So I watched it. It's fine. It's probably better if you don't remember it, right? It's one of those movies you can watch like once, but then like all the surprises are gone, and so like even 20 years later, you're like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." Oh yeah.
Oh, and there was that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you could watch it one time and it would be like, whoa, oh my gosh. But if you watch the second time, you're like, apparently, even if those two times are 20 years apart, like you just kind of go, yeah, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's like, well, anyway, next.
Got it. So yeah, not the biggest fan. I don't really understand the big hype about the dialogue because it's really not great, right? Like it's really forced. Like it some of it is like just like why would you say that? I don't. Yeah, that's my it's my review corner. There you go. The Spanish Prisoner. I give it a meh out of 10. Right? Like I guess.
Okay. Sounds. I having not seen it, but reading the IMDb and listening to your review, I concur. I also give it a meh out of 10.
Yeah. You can't watch it for free online though, so that's good, right?
Hey, major plus.
Yeah, major.
But
plus.
usually those are free for a reason.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that you can watch on for free every once in a while, right? Like, so. You can watch Rumble in the Bronx for free sometimes. That's definitely worth it. Always watch that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, this brings up a good question. It is summer reading time. Do we want to try and do another summer reading challenge of some book of some way? Does that fit into your plans? Aaron, would you be able to do this, or do we need to wait till later?
No, I mean, I could probably do it. Should be going on our honeymoon in the next few weeks. And so I think, I'll it's summertime. I got nothing else really planned besides that. We got summer ball next month, but I'll be gone for most of it. So, I mean, I think it'd be doable. Yeah.
All right. I'm down.
Okay. do we still have that original list that we looked at a minute ago?
We will do some research on possible.
Okay. So on the offline, we will continue this conversation, and we will use our super secret text channel to come up with something and go from there.
Yes, we will scour. All right. Open to suggestions too. So if you got any to throw in there, right? Go do it, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll do that.
Summer reading book challenge extravaganza. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh wait, that's Price is Right. Sorry.
My goodness. Okay, so we will commence that. And Aaron, you'll be excused for missing, for honeymoon stuff.
Yes, fine. Yes, it'll be good.
Yeah. I'll give you a pass, and you catch back.
This is very important. So, where are you going? Do you know? I mean, hopefully,
so we're going to go to Charleston. And Georgia and Atlanta, and then Nashville, I think. And so we're gonna.
That is quite a loop
there. And
are you driving?
Yes, because with airplanes being the way they are right now, with a lot of airplanes because of seasons. Hey, what if we just road
tripped it? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be logistically wise to be a lot easier, and so we'll just do that. Go out there for a little bit, spend about a little over a week, and just right out a week, and then we'll kind of come back. But that's kind of what we have planned, and then it's going to go from there.
All right. So not only travel log from Aaron, but also Aaron, importantly, road trip gas station snacks. We're gonna need your favorites when you return. Okay.
Yes.
What was your go-to?
I can do.
Okay. We need a snack update because road trip gas station snacks are an important part of this equation, right?
And
yes, they are.
And I need you to do a statistical analysis to see the percentage of gas stations that have the blue windshield wiper fluid and those that don't, and then those that look like they're doing it spitefully, not because of neglect. So I hope you're writing this down. This is all important research that you're doing for us.
Collin has been slighted recently, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Entire look, not that it's been a minute, but the entire trip to New Orleans, we could not find a gas station that had the blue fluid. Oh. All the way down, all the way back up. Multiple states, people. No. Okay. So I'm fine. Eric, I need your help. I need to know if this is big gas station conspiracy or if this is just me.
So, I bet I can find something.
Thank you.
All right,
and do the snacks thing as well. Okay.
And
we'll convene on a book, and I'm going to go lie down. And
okay. Don't hurt yourself.
Thanks. Okay. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.